Welcome back, Rupper. If you read the comic on page 7 of this novel, then you know what happens whenever Captain Underpants gets water on his head. Unfortunately, Miss Anthrop's wet, slobbery kisses had produced the same effect. Captain Underpants had been turned back into Mr. Krupp, and now he was about to be turned into lunch. Snap, 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 snap. Quickly, George and Harold began frantically snapping their fingers. Snap, snap, snap. Again and again they snapped, but Mr. Krupp's face was still slimy and wet with gooey kisses, and his snaps were having no effect at all. The mighty mucus monster shoved Mr. Krupp into his gummy mouth and swallowed him whole. Yikes, now he's going to stay wet. And then he came after George and Harold. Help! Screamed George. We're doomed! Screamed Harold. Chapter 23. Sulu saves the day. Halfway across the city, a plucky little hamster with bionic ears heard the terrified cries of his two best pals. Quickly, Sulu jumped out of his exercise wheel and crashed through the side of his plastic cage. Then, with a mighty leap, he bounded from the window of George's and Harold's house. At that very moment, Melvin was dangling George and Harold high above his mouth. Ha, 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 laughed the bionic booger boys. Me got you at last. Well, goodbye, Harold, said George. See you later, pal, said Harold. It was fun while it lasted. Finally, Melvin let go of George and Harold. The two boys screamed as they fell face first into the gooey, gaping mouth of the swoosh. The next thing George and Harold knew, they were flying sideways at an incredible speed. Everything around them was a blur of motion, except for the sight of their little buddy Sulu, who literally grabbed them from the murky mouth of death at the very last second. "Atta boy!" cried George. "Hooray for Sulu!" cried Harold. Sulu set George and Harold down on the roof of a distant building, then returned to the scene of the crime. He grabbed a few oversized novelty items from the tops of some warehouses and turned to face his mortal enemy. Let me see, it's a Flip-O-Rama 2. So, warning, the following stunts were performed on closed streets by a highly trained professional hamster. To avoid injury, please do not grab oversized novelty items from the tops of warehouses and beat up giant monsters with them. Remember, flip only page 147. Okay, so let's see if I can do it again. Put my fingers, these fingers here. Put my thumb here. Let's see, it might be easier this direction. And you can see he's getting bonked. Cane tops, keep falling on my head. Cane tops, keep falling on my head. Smash, smash, smash. Wasn't the greatest, but here's the next one. Yummy, yummy. I got glove in my tummy. All right. Gosh, there's a lot of Flip-O-Ramas. A hard day's fight. I'm not so good at these. And those are the end of that chapter. Stay tuned for chapter 25.